Hey, I want to show you some cool things you could do with your Apple Watch that you might not know about. As the Apple Watch is jam-packed with a lot of amazing stuff that will make your everyday tasks easier and more convenient. Let me walk you through some. Starting off with the ability to open up a web browser. Because if you peruse the Apple Watch, there's no Safari app or web browser app. Yes, you could download third party, but they're not really the greatest. And yeah, you could do tricks like activate Siri, google.com,
Here's what I found.
and just go on the very bottom, tap open page. This will actually open up a WebKit, which is basically a full URL you can use on the Apple Watch. But notice how earlier I had a verbally request for it, where you can actually set up a shortcut app and launch the shortcut to open up the web browser of choice by simply tapping on your watch. And we landed on Google, so here I could type up anything I would need to type up, and I could type up another website or article that I'm trying to go into. So if you'd like to set up the shortcut up, it's super easy to do so because you could literally long press on the watch face, tap edit, you go into complications, and just make sure you select the shortcut. You can also go into detail if you want a certain shortcut to be selected, like in our case, open URL. But now in order to create that URL shortcut, you do need to launch the shortcut app on your main mobile device, and tap the back arrow here, select watch, and to refresh it, I am going to delete the shortcut, because you need to start fresh by tapping plus, and in here just type in URL right here. Then specify the website. Google.com is like the best one in my opinion. Select the icon, or you could decide on doing that later. Tap done. And now if you go back to your watch, you'll be able to run just like that. Now whenever you receive a text message, open an email, or anything you're doing on your Apple Watch, if you ever receive like a text message but you don't have time to reply, you could just activate Siri and then say, remind me this.
Okay, I added Mark Wahlberg to the list.
It literally created a reminder for me, then have me later on activate the reminder app on my main device, where I could tap on the reminder section. And here I can see where I last left off, and the action that I want to be reminded of was replying back. So if I tap the icon, it will immediately jump me back to the text message conversation. You could do the exact same thing with emails or anything you're doing on your Apple Watch. Just say, remind me this. Now, whenever I'm cooking around, I do love using the Apple Watch for this, because setting a timer is as easy as just saying 6 minutes, 5 minutes. And to give you a real world example how that looks like, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, counting down.
It just starts a timer just like that. Super convenient. Again, typically when I'm in the kitchen is how I utilize this. And if you like to set multiple timers, you have to be a little bit specific. Here's a demonstration how that looks like. Set another 2-minute timer.
2 minutes, counting down.
Just like that. And if we look back, we still have our other timer still going. Now switching devices, because I think it's easier with something with a larger screen like the Apple Watch Ultra. But if you receive a lot of notifications and they're just bombarding you, instead of just covering your device or putting your device in silent, you go also quickly silent the notification by simply sliding over and select mute for 1 hour. This will eliminate distractions, especially if you find yourself like in a meeting or a group call and you just want those notifications to be on hold for a little bit. Now, when it comes down to sleep tracking, the Apple Watch is probably one of the best sleep trackers available in the market, all due to the fact there's no monthly fees. It monitors your body temperature and has amazing abilities and features such as the capability to wake you up with your alarm from just simply haptic vibrating your wrist, allowing you to easily wake up without having to wake up your spouse with a loud alarm clock. But a feature that is disabled by default is the reminder to charge your device notification. Because by launching the Apple Watch app on your iPhone, and you scroll down to the sleep section right here, enable charge reminders. By having this enabled, your Apple Watch will remind you to charge before bedtime, notifying you when it's fully charged, so you can start wearing it. This way your watch can make it throughout the entire night as well as the next following day. And then recently, I disabled my Apple Wallet. Usually when you double tap here, your Apple Wallet was supposed to pop up. But if I double tap here on my Apple Watch, I have Apple Pay always ready and on standby. The reason why I decided to disable it on my phone because there's been times where I caught it, well, depending on your case, of course, but if you have a case as sensitive as mine is, I've caught my phone a couple times overheating in my pocket because the double tap wallet was enabled and my phone was just on standby, which is really annoying because it not only overheats my phone but also drains my battery life. Plus, I think it's more secure with Apple Pay on your Apple Watch than it is having it just enable on your phone. So if you like to also set this up, go in your iPhone settings and go into the wallet tab on the very bottom and scroll all the way down to where you find your wallet and pay, and where you see double click side button, disable that. And now if you double click, it doesn't do that anymore, and now it just solely relies on your Apple Watch to complete those transactions. Of course, you can still launch the main wallet app too to have access to your cards in case you have to, still on your iPhone. But by having the wallet app enabled on your Apple Watch, you are aware that it is required for you to have a PIN code. And as everybody else, I'm sure we can all agree, it's sometimes annoying, especially when we wake up, we're going to work, we put on the watch and we don't realize we forgot to unlock it. And then you'll then realize that that's the reason why you weren't receiving some of your notifications earlier. However, there is a helpful feature that will actually eliminate that headache, and you can locate it in your iPhone settings on your main page right here and scroll down to your password and Face ID section. Enter your login, and once you do that, scroll down until you find something that reads unlock with Apple Watch. And by enabling this, your Apple Watch will actually unlock your iPhone. But if you don't like it to do that, by launching the Apple Watch native app, and we get out of here, and if you scroll down to passcodes, you'll see right here unlock with iPhone. And now just enter your login credential to confirm. So now next time when you wear your Apple Watch and then you unlock your iPhone with Face ID or passcode, you'll get a notification saying the watch was unlocked from iPhone. And now you can actually continue using your Apple Watch. Now, if you ever use navigation when it comes to riding your bike, walking down the streets, if you set a navigation direction while cycling or walking, the Apple Watch will vibrate your wrist with this haptic feedback motor to let you know to turn right or left without having you to constantly look down on your wrist if you're just trying to navigate through a city. But when it comes to Apple CarPlay, sometimes it's unnecessary for you to receive these notifications on your wrist when, after all, your vehicle display is already displaying the directions as well as the voice prompt. So if you find Apple CarPlay annoying whenever you're running navigation while wearing your Apple Watch, you need to go into your Apple Watch settings to disable this. And you'll find it in the Watch app and scroll down until you find the maps. Click on here, and this is where you can go in and disable it. So if you want turn alerts to be disabled while driving, turn that off. Turn it off with CarPlay. And then here's where you could decide if you like the notification vibration feedbacks while you're walking or cycling. And then if you have a habit of forgetting your phone either at the office, at the gym, or your own household, there is a setting you can enable that will allow the Apple Watch to alert you when it detects that your iPhone has been left behind. So if you like to enable this, you'll simply find it on the Apple Watch and go into the Find My app in the Find Devices, and you'll see a list of all your Apple Watches that you like to also receive this notification, like AirPods, your laptop, or iPad as well. So not just exclusive to the iPhone. So by selecting the iPhone as an example, you can either play sound, start directions, or go down and where it says notify when left behind, this is where you go in and enable this. And on the very bottom, you could actually exclude some locations like your home or workplaces as an example. So that's how you can be notified in case you forget your phone, like at work. Just keep in mind it's not instant, unfortunately. I'm going to look for a third-party app that does allow it to be an instant alert. But for my experience, it could take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. So hopefully by that time, you're not too far off away from your house or from your job. But it's best to be alerted within 15 minutes than the next following days or the next few hours. Now recently, the tailgate on my truck failed, and there was a hard to reach area I wasn't able to really see very well. But thankfully, the camera app on the Apple Watch can serve multiple purposes aside from being a quick like selfie taker. But as you see, in real time, it does capture a live preview. So because of this, I was able to squeeze my camera inside those hard to reach areas, especially like through drywall if you're looking for like a stud for like home projects as an example. It's pretty useful launching this app and just using these cameras to see with those hard to reach areas, and you can enable flash while recording. But doing this also acts as a great tool for like monitoring your baby, as an example, a last minute baby monitor. You could easily utilize your iPhone for this, or an amazing tool to take a group selfie while utilizing the best camera sensors located on the iPhone, which is typically on the backside. So you get those big, large gathers, everybody in frame. And then if you're ever stuck behind a dinner table with family and stuff like that, like Thanksgiving, or you're taking a test, but you don't want to seem too suspicious that you're looking into your watch too many times, just honestly see the time. Well, with two fingers, if you tap anywhere on the screen, it will give you a haptic feedback of the time. So it'll vibrate like how many times the hour is, and then stop, and it'll vibrate the minutes. No, it's not going to do 32 minutes, like 32 vibrations. It'll do 3, and it'll vibrate twice. This way, you can actually feel the exact time. So if you'd like to set this up, it's super easy and straightforward. Simply just launch the settings app on your Apple Watch, and then go into the clock section, and then go all the way in the very bottom where it says Taptic Time, and just go in and enable it. And here you can switch between different settings too. Digital is the easiest one to read because I don't know a lot of people that could read Morse code. Then since we were in here, you may have also seen a couple other things too. You can also enable it so it speaks the time. So if your device is not on silent and you repeat the same process, it will verbally say out loud the time.
1:27 p.m.
And it all depends on your silent settings too. And you can also override it so it always speaks out loud the time. I prefer control and silent. But then continuing on, up here, you can also enable chimes. By having chimes enabled, every time on the hour, you'll feel a haptic feedback, somewhat like a grandfather time, where you'll feel with a unique haptic feedback feeling motor, so it separates itself from other notifications. It does like a small light buzz twice to indicate that an hour has gone by. I love using this mode due to the fact that I work a lot, and this allows me to not lose track of time. So it's a free feature, it's there, and I recommend enabling this if you are always somebody on a tight schedule. But going up, you can also offset the time from the iPhone. So if you like to increase the time by 5 minutes to always be 5 minutes ahead, you can do so. So here you see now my Apple Watch says it's 1:33, while my iPhone is still saying that it's 1:28. This way, I'm not going to confuse myself. But a feature that was silently removed on watchOS 10 but now re-enabled was the capability to quickly switch between different watch faces by simply sliding your fingers just like this. So if you'd like to re-enable this feature, and still in the clock tab in our settings, enable swipe to switch watch faces. And now you can just do this to quickly switch between the many different watch faces that you have. Just keep in mind, if you have kids or you're always carrying like your daughter or your son on you, they may want to like slide it, which is why Apple gave us the ability to disable this or re-enable it to your own personal preference. Yeah, if you notice it says Eddie up there. If you like to customize some of the watch faces with the customizable monograph complication, you could always go all the way down in the monograph. This is where you enter the text that you like to enter. It's limited to 4, however, 4 or 5. And again, it has to be selected with the monograph watch face complication. So it says personalization right here. That's how you could add that. And if you like to share some of these watch faces that you've created, if you have like a unique one, like I do, like some of these actually are animated, you're always able to just long hold the face and tap the up arrow share icon, tap the contact you like them to receive. You can always tap on it and then remove some of the complications you don't want them to have. So if it's like a paid complication you added, you can always include it or don't include it so they don't have to download that app. And then lastly, a commonly asked question that I get asked a lot is what happens when you receive a phone call but you don't have time to answer it on your wrist, you prefer answering on your phone? Well, if you tap these little dots over here, you can always send that call to the iPhone. And if you look back on your iPhone, the call has been picked up. It's just they're left on hold. This way, they don't have to redial you and call back. They're just left on hold, and then once you're ready, you can slide to answer. And if you like to transfer the call from the phone back to your wrist, just tap the icon on top. And on top right here, there's an arrow icon simulating that you could transfer the call from your phone to the Apple Watch by tapping here, confirm. Now the phone call is back on your wrist. So those are a few of the cool things that your Apple Watch can do. It's amazing how much you can actually accomplish from just using this gizmo on our wrists. If you found these tips helpful, or if there's a feature that I did not mention in this video that you absolutely love, let me know in the comment section. I love to hear how you're using your Apple Watch, on any cool tricks you discovered. Plus, if you have any questions or ideas for future videos, feel free to also comment down below as well. I'm always looking for new topics to cover. My name was Eddie. Thank you so much for watching.